friends, welcome to our today's session. Today's session is about IMF. So, IMF in the context of international trade and business, you must have heard this term or you must have heard about this institution. Can you tell me what it stands for? IMF. Can anyone tell me? IMF
International
stands International
Monetary Fund.
International Monetary Fund. So, as you know, if you look at your syllabus, you know we are supposed to learn about three kinds of or three types, three major international institutions. One of them is about this thing, International Monetary Fund, and we have to learn about World Bank also, and we had already learned WTO, right? So today, let us learn about International Monetary Fund. Uh, yeah, but before going there, before entering into that topic, let me take you to the website of International Monetary Fund. Let us have a look quickly how it looks like, how their website looks like. After that, uh, I'll be showing you the PPT. We can search the website address of IMF. It is very easy to remember, but still let us search it. If you look here, it stands for you see www.imf.org. Okay, some fact about IMF also you can know who is the managing director, where the headquarters is located. Okay, and you know chief economist Geeta Gopinath is also there, and other things also we'll be learning. So let me first visit to this website www.imf.org. Can you see it here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you look at the website, this itself will give us some idea that some idea about what kind of activities are done by this organization. International Monetary Fund is a fund. Fund means there is a capital. The fund is created. You can say a common pool of money, and from which money is sanctioned or some loans are sanctioned to various countries. And if you look at here, you can also understand this IMF also does some research activities. Is it not? Some research activity it does. We can also look the membership. You see, countries are there. Let us see whether India is a member or not. You see, countries are there, and these alphabet wise, we can search our country. Let us say India should be there under I. Let us check. You see, if I click I, you can find out these are the countries who are the members of uh, International Monetary Fund. Starting with I alphabet, you can see Indian position is here. So now you know India is definitely a member of International Monetary Fund. Okay, there are totally in total 190 members. So we'll be seeing that. So it does some research activities. There are some members you can understand, and you see it talks about capacity development. So that means International Monetary Fund also helps in capacity building or capacity development of countries. Countries' capability is developed. So through training, through advices, International Monetary Fund helps to increase the capacity of various countries. Okay, few other things are also there. If you want to understand in detail, so you can click here about IMS. You can understand it's IMF at a glance, surveillance, lending, capacity development, all these activities one can learn. If you click here, IMF at a glance, here also you can get some broad idea that what IMF does. Here is a fact sheet. I'll be showing you that fact sheet later on. How it is funded. You can have a look here. Look at this fact sheet. Okay, established in 1944, 190 member countries, and the staff members represent 150 countries. And there is a board, executive directors, the 24 executive directors. So there is a managing director. So all these things we'll be learning, and you see Here, if you look at here, you say, did you know IMF gives advices on how to achieve economic stability? So IMF also provides this advisory function. It advises. Okay, you see one more thing. So did you know IMF provides financial support and works with governments to ensure responsible spending? That also government ensures. You see, these are certain things. Yeah. Now you see, did you know IMF works with member countries to modernize their economic policies and institutions? So this is also one more activity. IMF helps member countries to modernize or to change their economic policies. Okay, so here are some other facts are also there. So like this, we'll be able to learn. You'll be able to know certain things about International Monetary Fund. Now, I am going to share the PPT with you. Okay, so if you look at the third module of our syllabus, we are supposed to learn about International Monetary Fund and three things, that is purpose, facilities, facilities provided by International Monetary Fund, all these things we are supposed to learn. Okay, now website, you know. Now to start with, so let us know that this organization, International Monetary Fund, which is also referred to as fund. When you say about the fund in the context of international business, fund stands for International Monetary. Okay, this International Monetary Fund was established in the year. Can you recall? I had shown you in the fact sheet also. In which year it was established? It is also written in this slide. Can you tell me?
1944.
1944.
Okay. So this fund came into existence in the year 1944. So what had happened in the year 30? Not in the year, in 30s, there was a great depression. So many countries started devaluating their currencies. That means purposefully they reduced the value of their currencies. So this brought a kind of imbalance in international trade and commerce. So several countries came together to decide that how to handle this kind of situation, how to tackle the situation. At that time, 44 countries were referred to as the founding members or the founder members of this fund came together and discussed in a conference. That name of the conference was Bretton Woods Conference. Some of you might have heard about this. In international business and trade, we'll talk a lot about Bretton Woods Conference. And that country, it has been decided to manage or monitor the world economics. And as a result of which, these kind of funds were established. As of now, today, how many members are there? Who can tell me? Because they are in the website also. Here also, I am telling you the same thing. How many members? How many countries are members?
190.
190 members are there. Okay, and administrative staff comes from 150 countries, and this fund, International Monetary Fund, is responsible or is accountable to these 190 countries who are its members. Okay, so in fact, it was established in July 1994. July 1994, it was conceived. The idea was conceived in Bretton Woods Conference. Right, in that conference, 44 countries had come, they had discussed, and since at that time or prior to that, many countries had devaluated their currency, which brought a great depression in international business, in international economics. To address that issue, this kind of funds were formed. And the primary mission and the objective, the ultimate mission for which it was formed is to bring a kind of stability in international monetary system. Meaning, intention is to ensure that there should not be disturbances, there should not be fluctuations, there should not be any kind of depression in the international monetary system. Okay, so several countries should join hand. Several countries agreed to cooperate with each other to ensure that this kind of instabilities uh, should not happen.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, in the previous slide, competitive currency devaluation. Sir, please explain.
That means competitive currency devaluation means some countries started to devaluing their currency. Now you might be thinking, why at all a country would like to devalue their currency? Now you think of suppose a particular currency. Take off for an example. Take off an example of Indian rupees. Suppose Indian rupee is right now, if you compare it, let us say dollar equivalent is that $1 is equal to 72 rupees. When I say I will be devaluing my currency or country wants to devaluing the currency, then what will happen? So let us say 72 will become 80. Is it not? Currency value has gone down. For $1, you are supposed to pay 72 rupees. Now you are paying 80. Now you might be thinking, why at all you'll be doing it? Okay,
Yes, sir.
you'll be doing it when you want that your currency should be demanded. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so you'll reduce in value if you want that people should use your currency. When the currency will become cheaper, then more and people will be demanding this. That is one kind of situation. Second situation is that suppose you desperately need something. What happened during World War time? There are some countries who are desperate to import something, maybe medicine, maybe arms and ammunition. They wanted to import something, and when they started importing, they want, let us say, more and more arms and ammunition, more and more medicines, more and more food products. And at that time, so purposefully they reduce the value of the currency so that more people will be exporting to them, and they will be able to import it. Did you understand the logic? Suppose
Yes,
one
sir.
country devaluated. So one country devaluated that currency means other countries, uh, it will having some competitive advantages. So everybody will be like to export something to that country. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting? So because of this thing, since the country started devaluing their currency, that means currency started showing a kind of artificial value. Currency was not reflecting the real demand and supply positions, right?
Yes, sir.
So that brought a kind of instability in international monetary system. So address that thing, this organization was formed. Are you getting
Thank
it?
you.
Or still you have some query?
No, sir.
Okay.
I
Now
got it.
you see. Now you see. The International Monetary System, Monetary Fund or IMF promotes international financial stability and monetary cooperation. It ensures that there is monetary cooperation and financial stability is there in international financial market. It also facilitates international trade, promotes employment and sustainable economic growth, and also it helps to reduce global poverty. So these are, uh, you can say, facilities which are extended by international monetary. Right? International trade is facilitated, employments are promoted, international employment. Then it helps various countries for attending sustainable economic growth, and it also helps in eradication of poverty. So in these areas, IMF works. Now, if you look at the organizational structure of International Monetary Fund, at the top there is a board of governors. But the day-to-day work of International Monetary Fund is overseen by 24-member executive board. That's the executive board consisting of 24 members, you can say 24 directors, which represent the entire membership. These directors are elected by this 190 countries who are the members. And this board is supported by International Monetary Fund staff. Staff members support this. Okay. And there is a managing director. Managing director is the head of the International Monetary Fund staff. And the managing director chairs the executive board meeting. And managing director is assisted by 4 deputy managing directors. So there is a board of governors, there is an executive board, there is a managing director, and there are 4 deputy managing directors. Apart from that, staff members are also there. Got it? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next issue comes that how this fund organizes its finance, where from it gets money. Right. The primary source of IMF form is the quotas. Quotas means it's a capital subscription. When the country joins in International Monetary Fund, when the country becomes a member, he subscribes to its capital, which is called as quota. He gives some money. Each member of International Monetary Fund is assigned a quota broadly on the basis of its relative position in the world's economy. Suppose there is a country who plays a dominant role in world economy, he is having a bigger quota. Okay, his quota is large. And another country uh, who plays an insignificant role in the world economy, his quota is small. Okay, so quota is fixed on the basis of a country's relative position in world economy. Quotas are also reviewed time to time, and accordingly, various countries subscribe to the quotas. They give money to International Monetary Fund. Apart from that, International Monetary Fund also borrows money. Okay, we'll see from various countries. We borrows country. There are arrangements like bilateral arrangements, multilateral arrangements through which International Monetary Fund borrows money. And International Monetary Fund also lends money. That means countries can borrow from this pool. Now, when every country contributes, it creates a common pool. And countries, when they face some financial difficulty, they can borrow money from this common pool. Did you understand this process?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I told you money is collected through quotas plus borrowings. And that money is lent to member countries whenever they face some financial crisis. Right. As you know, IMF lends money. It provides loan, including emergency loans. So there are various loan products of International Monetary Fund. We may not go deep into that. If time permits, I will give you some. Broadly, I will tell you this is how money is lent. So if a country faces some balance of payment problem, then money is lent by International Monetary Fund. That you might be thinking, what is this balance of payment problem? Balance of payment problem, you see, every country manages inflow and outflow of its foreign currency. Is it? Whenever a country imports something, it has to pay. There will be an outgo of foreign currency. Yes or no? There will be an outflow of foreign currency whenever a country imports. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And whenever a country exports, there will be inflow of foreign currency.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it? If there is an export, there will be inflow, and there will be if there is a export, there will be inflow, and there is import, there will be outflow. And this inflow and outflow needs to be managed. Is it not? Suppose outflow will be more, it will be very difficult to manage. So inflow is not there. If outflow is more, how the country will be addressing the situation? This is called as the balance of payment. So what normally happens? Every country gives a forex reserve. Forex reserve is just like a saving bank account. You imagine, suppose in your case, your expenses are more, income is less. So temporarily you can manage provided you have a saving bank deposit. So every country gives a deposit like this. Okay. If outflow is more, if inflow is less, the balance money is taken from that fund, from that deposit, which is called as the forex reserve. So things can be managed. Or that means things can be managed means inflow and outflow will match now. Difference is the money which is withdrawn from forex reserve. Or other option is that the country has to borrow. It may borrow from a friendly country, or it can borrow from international organizations like International Monetary Fund. Okay, so either you have to manage from a saving bank account, or you can borrow money. There is no other way. Are you getting me? So these kind of problem are called as the balance of payment problem. That means your inflow and outflow is imbalance. So whenever the country is facing a temporary balance of payment problem, the International Monetary Fund assists. But if it is a continuous problem, that means it is happening every year, the same situation is there, then it is very difficult to manage. In that situation, what happens? IMF gives advices, gives recommendation to the countries to bring certain change in the country's economic policies, so that this balance of payment problem can be addressed in the future. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when we are talking about this lending, including emergency lending, uh, this kind of IMF lends money when a country is facing actual or potential balance of payment problem. Actual problem means actually there is a problem. Potential means there is a possibility. IMF through its research uh, or through its expertise can find it out whether there is any potential BOP problem. If that problem is there or problem is expected, IMF also extends its help. The intention is to help these countries to rebuild their international reserve. So IMF helps so that international reserve or forex reserve can be rebuilt. IMF also helps to stabilize their currencies. Currencies can be stabilized. The rate of currency rate can be stabilized. It should not fluctuate to ensure that fluctuation will be not there. Because when currency fluctuates a lot, then people who are dealing with international trade and commerce lose confidence on that currency, because they will not be knowing what is the value, what is the real value of that currency. So International Monetary Fund helps those countries to ensure that the currency is stable, rate of that currency is stable. Okay, IMF also helps these countries so that they will be able to pay for their imports. Whenever a country imports, it creates an import liability. If country doesn't have foreign exchange, it will not be able to pay back. It will not be able to settle that liability. So International Monetary Fund helps in that kind of situation, so that this country can meet that obligation, import obligation. Also, it helps to restore the conditions for strong economic growth. IMF uh, helps these countries so that their economic growth can be strengthened, and all these problems can be corrected through this lending process. This is why IMF helps them through lending money. Okay, are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Now, friends, let us understand this surveillance mechanism of International Monetary Fund. When I talk about this surveillance mechanism, what I exactly mean, how International Monetary Fund monitors its affairs. You see, so many members are there. Okay, 190 members are there. They will be contributing. Then IMF may borrow money also. It has to lend money, and it has to monitor the financial policies of various countries. So all these things, how International Monetary Fund manages this. This monitoring mechanism is referred to as surveillance. IMF monitors its member countries' policies. It monitors their national policies, regional policies, global economic and financial developments through a system which is referred to as surveillance. That monitoring system is called as surveillance. Okay. It gives advices to member countries to foster economic stability and to reduce vulnerability of economic and financial crisis and rise living standards. So IMF through its expert team identifies the problem and gives advices to various members countries so that they can attain economic stability and reduce the effect of financial crisis, economic crisis, and the living standard of the people can also increase. International Monetary Fund also periodically conducts some assessments. These are assessments means some research is conducted, and various economic data are analyzed. On the basis of that research, International Monetary Fund extends advices to member countries. Right? So this fund, International Monetary Fund, monitors the international monetary system. global economic developments to identify risk and recommend policies. So through regular monitoring, IMF can identify the possibilities of risk, and accordingly it recommends the suitable policies so that the country can take care of that and country will be attending financial stability. Okay. IMF also conduct regular health check of economic and financial policies. So regularly it reviews the economic and financial policies of its member countries. And in case there is a risk or if there is some possibility of risk, it gives suitable advices. Okay, so this is one more role. IMF identifies the risk as well as advises to the governments of those countries. Okay. This is one more role of International Monetary Fund, that is capacity development. Capacity development or capacity building, meaning it makes its member countries more and more capable to handle financial crisis. Okay, it improves the member countries' capacity. How IMF does it? By providing technical assistance and training. International Monetary Fund also provides technical assistance and training. Training to whom? Training to various governments, also to central banks, finance ministries, revenue administrations, and financial sector supervisory agencies. To all these people, to governments, banks, central banks, financial ministries, administrative staff, and supervisory agencies to provide technical assistance and training. Okay, since IMF's export team has got expertise in various fields means ranging from taxation up to central banks operations and reporting of macroeconomic data. In all these areas, IMF has got expertise. So by using its expertise, it gives advices to various countries. It gives training to countries to tackle various issues. Various economic issues can be tackled, and countries become more and more capable to handle those issues. That's why we call it as the capacity development. So countries become more capable because of this training. Okay, this fact sheet you had already seen in the website itself. Few key things I expect you to remember. One is the year of establishment, 1944. 190 countries are the member, and 24 executive directors. These are the few things I expect you to remember. Few more data is also here. Yeah, one more thing. You need to remember that the headquarters are located in Washington, D.C. Okay, other things, if you are interested, you can have a look at the website. You can visit the website and understand that. Now let us understand what is the primary aim of International Monetary Fund. We can note down in 5 points. One is to promote international monetary cooperation. Each country should cooperate with each other. If one country is facing some difficulty, other countries should join hands to help it. To facilitate the expansion and balanced growth of international trade, every country should sit together, talk together to think how to expand the international trade. To promote exchange stability, this is also one more thing. Exchange rates needs to be stable. So IMF helps in bringing that stability. To assist establishment of multilateral system of payments. This is one more thing. That means multilateral arrangements, multilateral agreements are also facilitated by International Monetary Fund. Then makes resources available to members who are experiencing balance of payment difficulties. So funds should be made available to member countries who are experiencing balance of payment difficulties. So these are the primary aim of International Monetary Fund. You can just have a look. You can, I think, you'll be able to understand these things broadly. Okay. Now let us move. When we are discussing about International Monetary Fund, we need to understand this concept. This is called as SDRs. SDRs represent a special drawing rights. These are, in fact, these special drawing rights are not like foreign currencies, but they represent a kind of foreign exchange reserve asset. So this is a kind of reserve asset which is maintained at International Monetary Fund. Okay, so SDRs are supplementary foreign exchange reserve assets, which are defined Defined means it is valued by International Monetary Fund and maintained at International Monetary Fund. These are actually unit of accounts for the International Monetary Fund. It's not currency. They are not currency. They represent, you can say, they represent indirectly. They have got some value, and the member countries can claim to currencies held by IMF. That means this SDRs represent a claim to currency. That is, member countries can claim on the basis of SDRs they are holding. They can claim some currencies from International Monetary Fund on the basis of their SDR holding. Okay, meaning SDRs can be exchanged for currencies. There is a mechanism, there is an approval mechanism through which SDRs can be distributed to member countries. It is distributed in the proportion of their quotas. You already know what is quota. Quota means capital subscription. The money which member countries contribute on the basis of their economic position in the world economy. So the member countries can voluntarily exchange SDRs for currencies among themselves. Among themselves, they can exchange SDRs for currencies. Now, friends, now we'll be thinking about, we broadly know how Fair from IMF collects money. Now, IMF's resources are mostly collected, as you know, from quota, that is the primary source. In addition to that, it has some credit arrangements. That means IMF also borrows money. Okay, how credit arrangements are there? There are something called as the bilateral arrangements, something called as the multilateral arrangements. When you talk about multilateral and bilateral borrowing, this means beyond quota, some borrowings can be made by International Monetary Fund. Okay, so now if you look at this slide, so IMF primarily depends upon the quotas, which are the member subscription. In case more money is required to support some needing countries, then there is multilateral borrowing arrangements. That means a group of countries are ready to give support to International Monetary Fund. And there are some specific countries that are bilateral arrangements are also. If this is not sufficient, then through bilateral arrangement also money can be collected. So primary is that you can say this is the first line of defense when money is required. Quota money can be used. If that is insufficient, the second line of defense is multilateral borrowing arrangements can be used. If that is some reason insufficient, then bilateral arrangements can be used. Multilateral borrowing arrangement is the second line defense to supplement the IMF's resources. Okay, there are number of member countries who stand ready to support IMF in this kind of situation. Okay, bilateral borrowing arrangements are the third line of defense to support International Monetary. Okay, and coming to functions of International Monetary Fund. So these are the functions. One is surveillance, that is monitoring mechanism, lending, and also it provides technical assistance to various countries. Member countries can borrow money from International Monetary Fund at a concessional rate. These are some arrangements through which they can borrow money. Standby arrangement, flexible credit line, then precautionary and liquidity line, then extended fund facility, then rapid financing instrument, etc., through which money can be borrowed. Okay, like these are individually we need not